All right. Welcome to Houston RMFantasy SXperts Live. I'm Chase.
I'm Kobe.
And we're here to give you stats today to help you make your picks for Houston.
This week went by fast. I'm excited.
It did.
More racing.
Monday's show, we talked about it a little bit, but we got Cade Clason, one of our favorite privateers, who's going to be calling in today here in just a little bit. But
yes, sir.
We want to say thank you to everybody here who is already chatting live with us.
Let us know what you want to know from Cade.
Who are you going to put in first?
Right now, I've got Tomac. I've got Tomac.
This has been the first week that I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I just don't know.
The field is deep. As you can see, we got a cemetery of number plates up here.
Did I call you Christian in the intro?
Did you?
Did you not even notice? People are calling me out.
I thought I introduced myself, so.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Why is everyone freaking out?
What's up, y'all?
Anyway, this is the first week where I'm like, man, I just don't know what to do with first place right now.
It's tough, man.
Is Tomac shook? That's the real question.
I don't know if I can trust the Instagram post because I don't know if it was even Tomac that posted it. I don't know who's running his IG.
I know.
He didn't seem very phased. He just he felt like he anticipated being he didn't want to jump on Cooper essentially, and that's why he overcompensated.
Some post-race interview sounds like he's good to go.
I think that's the thing. Come qualifying, like if I got to be honest with everybody, I've moved my picks around a little bit. Come qualifying, It reveals a lot, and honestly, I should have gone with my gut a little bit more with moving Sexton up.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I feel for you, man. I'm just I'm sticking to the red plate.
Okay. So. Well, with that being said, let's dive right into it here. I guess. Do you want to do a poll to start things off while we're getting prizes out of the way?
Just who's winning?
Who's winning? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm just kind of curious to see
people are thinking.
The feelers out there right now. Let's do Tomac, Webb, Sexton, and Anderson between those four.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you could put Kenny in there, but
yeah, absolutely.
But between those riders, I don't know. Levi, he's going to be getting the poll going for that.
Let us know in chat, but Levi will get an actual poll going.
That being said, though, let's just go over real quickly again the prizes that we have up for grabs, the weekly prizes for Houston. There it is. There's the poll. Who's winning Houston? Kind of curious to see. Up on the big screen here, prizes, this week's top 10. You got 7 casual package. Mm-hmm. You got T-shirt hookup from FMF.
Again, that's a generous hookup still from FMF. I think it's over like $300.
Is it really?
Yep.
You can get a lot of shirts and hats for that much. Third place, full gear hookup from Fast House. Fastway promo to Bill. Those guys are giving away their Air EXT foot pegs.
If you're an off-road guy, those are...
You ever ran those?
Yeah, I've ran them once. Not on my bike. I team raced and ran them, and I noticed them.
Yeah, I mean, I did a video on them.
High speed stuff. It makes a difference to have that little bit of extra.
And you don't really notice the little extra support.
It's not in the way, certainly.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they're sweet.
Let's see. 5th place, we got Bridgestone Battlecross tires. 6th place, Rhino Power package. 7th, TLD is getting up in the game right there. 100% hooking up some sunglasses. Fly Racing casual spending spree and a Cherubies. And on top of that, we do 90 RockyMountain8TMC.com gift cards.
Every single week.
That is absolutely right.
And you cannot forget these grand prizes. Of course, we're going to run through them again. We've got first place winning a fully race-prepped KTM 450 SXF, the two-stroke fans. Properly in second place with the 250 SX, also race-prepped, and then new this year, like we've mentioned, the SX E5 from KTM.
Hey, I'm about to have my first baby boy here in any day now. I have to leave this show mid-show. It could be today.
Today.
We're on the seat right now. We're on the edge of the seat.
Fourth place, Stay Sick. Also could pertain to you, Chase. And then we got this.
It's true.
Awesome $2,500 spending spree from the one and only Rocky Mountain there in 5th. 6th place, A-Stars. Everything you'll ever need, they claim. Some Motion Pro tools and accessories. And 7th, 8th place, top quality Fly racing gear, which, I ran Fly for a good amount of time. I can agree. 9th place, an upgrade with Oakley goggles, which I told you earlier this week.
You're making the switch.
Yeah, I might make the switch. I've been a Scott fan my entire life, and I don't know, Oakley's, they're
not a bad choice,
dude. Designs.
Welcome to the club.
Wrapping up our grand prizes in 10th is the Milestone video game prize pack, of course. And we got a little new graphic, don't we, Levi? Oh, let's check it on this poll real quick. The leaderboards. Let's check out who's even in the runnings for those prizes we mentioned.
Oh, yeah, let's see it.
Tomac, yep, I agree, people. So, yeah, just a quick shout-out. Let's go over our RM
how the
Fantasy.
hell do you get 236 points already? I have 81.
You're at 81. Wow. That really is it's mind-boggling every single year.
Punky. Okay, we need to get Punky calling in here. And
I'm at a solid 135 right now.
Yeah, so, but that's like he's still 100 points more than you.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I belong.
That's insane. And that's after 3 rounds. Our Hunter crushing it. Hudson won.
2-3-1.
Goodness gracious.
Our weekly winners last week, Ed 151, Hamp 1, and Homewrecker 1. What's up with the ones? Are these names really taken?
I don't know, but you know what's interesting, though, is the top 3 in points, neither one were a weekly winner.
Yeah, that is interesting, actually.
It's because they're probably waiting until after qualifying to make their picks.
You got to pick and choose.
And look at the SXperts group.
Yeah, of course. If this is one of you guys and you're in the chat tuning in, let us know. Comment. Mr. Kunkel, number 1, 192. Savna Whack, 191.
What does that last one say?
No picks are good enough, which is so relatable.
Yeah.
No picks are good enough. That's what we should change the name of our show to.
Well, let poll. Anyway. So more than half the people, about half, are picking Tomac to win this weekend.
I agree, people. Anderson, your pick is 7% of these guys agree with you.
Well, hey, he's going to rattle off some wins at some point. So
we'll see more in his stats. He did have one that blew my mind. He had 7 wins. That's more than I remember.
Last year? Yeah, him and Tomac tied for wins.
Yeah,
But anyway, hey, don't forget the link to the Discord is in the description and later on in this video, we are going to get to the meme contest.
The winner.
Yeah.
And we're going to have you guys choose.
Because we have the MSR gear set to give away.
Chase and I narrowed it down to 4 of our favorites. We each picked a couple. You guys do such a great job. It's so hard to knock them down to 4. But we're going to have you guys pick a winner for the meme giveaway, and we'll get to that a little bit later.
All right. So with that being said, okay, so results recap from last week. Just a quick refresher. We had Sexton getting his second all-time win of 450s. Anderson, Roxon, Webb. Ferrandis, another sneaky top 5. And then Colt Nichols stealing the wild card watch for
Nichols
everybody.
Right here,
I got him around here somewhere.
That wild card, which lucky me, ended up making the right choice for that one.
Oh, there he is. Sweet. Yeah, it's what's saving you right now.
That's our results for last week.
Okay, injuries going into this week. Marvin Muscan is still out. Malcolm Stewart, bummer. I hear his knee injury is worse than not just like
It's not a 1 weekend.
No,
2
like
weekends.
possible surgery out the whole year
the
thing.
whole year.
Bummer.
Really big bummer.
Let's see. As far as 250 East Coast, because it's the first East Coast round, Joe Shimoda is out. Seth Hammaker is out. Jalik Swoll is out.
Jeez.
Talk about blows to the East Coast 250 class. But Justin Cooper, everyone don't forget, this will be an important talking factor for the wild card. Justin Cooper is making his debut on a 450 this weekend.
Think he
could top 10 it?
I think he could. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, after seeing Craig this year and everything, it's tough to do as a rookie.
We were just talking before the show. It really is impressive the difference between the 450 class and 250s. Like their overall speed in that top 5 is insane.
I'll tell you what, Aquatic is not happy right now.
I feel for him. Sorry, man. Are you even watching the races over the weekend? Is there even a point?
It's like you're just finding out that Marv's out for the season. What's going on here? All right, look. So those are those are riders that are hurt.
You want to see the track?
Track trends? Yes, I do. I do want to see it.
We didn't race there last year. Section. Your note says long, which it is.
Coming out of that 180 turn. This is the longest whoop section we've seen so far. And I can't remember the dirt at Houston. Does it get super ruddy? Like, are those whoops going to break down and become, goat trail jumpers?
If I remember right, I think it gets pretty deep.
Because I know Dallas doesn't break down as much, I believe. So
we'll have to ask Cade would know. Clason.
Yeah, we'll ask him. Because that could be a factor, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Here's the thing about whoops this year, though. Like Webb, when normally you just don't think whoops is going to be a hurt for him. Dude, he's crushing whoops this year.
Even that notorious clip of Tomac passing him, he wasn't too far behind as far as whoop speed.
No, it's not like his whoop speed is really that far off. And he hasn't really been jumping him much, so kind of interesting to see.
Longer sand section, you asked, you received.
Longer.
You weren't too pumped on the little bit of sand. Let's get that back up there, Levi.
Track looks like a wreck fest, says Robbie King. Houston whoops about to end careers. I don't know.
That's a pretty long start straight, don't you think? It's not the longest. It might be a little average.
It's not. It's decent. But again, it's kind of like last week with A2 where you're crossing the finish line multiple times. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. You're
I
going back
liked
and
last
forth.
week's track. I actually really did. And one thing that stood out to me was right after the start, they're doing that tunnel jump. And I'm sure that's going to be a tight right-hander. I don't know. I just feel like that's not a lot of time to funnel everybody down enough.
You know what I see with that is like going right into that and that tunnel jump. Here's what I see happening is the guys, if any of the top dudes get a good start, they're going to be able to make that jump. But if you're like middle, back of the pack, that is going to bunch up.
Yep.
You're just going to be rolling over that thing.
Yep.
Which kind of gives the front guys a little bit of time to kind of check out through the first couple rhythm lanes.
There's a good amount of straightaways, am I wrong?
I mean, there are, but they're not long.
flats.
Like, it looks like a really busy track again where it's like you don't have long rhythm lanes, so you're just into turns a lot.
Busy for the track crew, that's for sure. They're going to be moving hay bales and
I don't know.
painting.
Looks like it'd be a fun racetrack.
Yeah, looks like a good track.
So we'll ask Cade about how that dirt and everything's going to break down. Let's see here. Okay, so track trends.
Best starters?
Should we do it?
Yeah.
First graphic?
Let's just keep going.
Okay.
Best starters in the game. This changed quite a bit. Was this including Triple Crown? You get these stats.
No, this is non-Triple Crown.
So non-Triple Crown.
We do one for Triple Crowns, but this is just so far with the standard rounds.
Non-Triple Crown. Sexton is your top guy with a surprisingly only a 3.4. I feel like the top guy might have a better starting average. Again, we're only...
Well, actually, I don't know. Levi, is this including Triple Crowns? Or is just
I don't think it's
standard rounds only.
I don't think it is, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Anderson, they're all right there.
They are, yeah.
Webb's a little bit farther back because Webb, it's the second round. Was it San Diego? Did not get the greatest start. Worked his way up forward, but for Anderson and Barcia, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I almost didn't throw Stewart on there because I know he's hurt, but yeah, he was doing good while he was riding. Yeah, that's for sure.
All right, best finishers in the game. What do we got right now?
This is what I want to see.
Isn't that weird? Tomac's at 4. Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt his average last weekend, of course. But Sexton with a solid third.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have to dig up that poll again.
What?
I'm assuming Sexton was probably the second most picked from
for
everybody. I would assume so.
I'd imagine so. He just won. Yeah, I think
it's tough.
It is tough. All right, top contenders. Let's talk about some stats here on riders. All right, so let's put Tomac up here first because obviously he is the number 1 picked rider to win this weekend. But I feel he should be. You think so? Why? Give me your reasoning though. Stats aside, why would you pick Tomac to win this weekend? He won 2 out of the first 3. Winning 3 out of the first 4 is like.
I don't blame people for being like yourself. Is it because of the crash or is it because of his first 2 main events in that Triple Crown?
I just think like last year, Tomac and Anderson both won multiple races in a row. But I just think at this point with Webb being better than he's been, Sexton already grabbed a win after just 3 rounds. I just kind of feel like there's more guys at this stage that are like, I'm the guy that needs to win. And so I feel like last year it was just Tomac and Anderson.
Sure. So if there's anybody in between them, even if Tomac's in 5th, he's blowing past those 3 guys, and then he's just got to get
not
past
a Sexton or a Webb at this point.
Yeah.
Or I'm just saying, like I feel like this year those top 4 or 5 guys are a little bit stronger. Webb, Sexton, and even like Kenny, who's riding good. They're just not going to make it as easy for someone like Tomac or whoever to work their way up to the front. Okay. So I just think getting 3 out of 4 wins is going to be tougher than it was last year.
Sure. No, I can agree with that. Random thought I had while you're saying that is how much do those qualifying start mock-ups, how much does that affect your picks?
My picks?
Yep.
Well,
watching
I probably would have put Tomac to win Anaheim 1 if I hadn't committed to Sexton so early because I watched Tomac in person rip 2 hole shots in those practice starts. Okay. So yeah, if you're watching Race Day Live, watch the practice starts.
I think it's very helpful. Say if you're watching Race Day Live this weekend, Tomac rips both qualifying hole shots. You moving him up? Because I feel that's the only reason. I feel like a bad start is the only reason not to be picking Tomac. Okay. So that's really. I'm gonna watch qualifying. I recommend you guys do watch Race Day Live. I mean, just more Supercross the better. And if he's getting solid starts in those qualifiers, I'm gonna keep him up there. But
we have Cade on the line.
Cade's on the line, ready to go.
Mr. Cade Clason, ready to go. Well, look, you all know this man, one of your favorite privateers, a.k.a. getting taken out by Stank Dog. But, so we've got him on the phone right now. If you guys have questions for Cade while we're talking to him, please put those in the live chat. But Mr. Cade Clason driving to the airport right now to catch his flight. How are we doing?
I'm good, boys. How are we?
We're good.
Dude, we're just bench racing, pretending like we know what we're talking about, wishing that we had the skills to ride a Supercross track. That's what we're talking about.
Hey, me too. That's how I feel most days.
Have you seen the track map for this week?
Oh, it looks great. I like it.
You like the look of it? Looks pretty busy, kind of like A2 did.
Yeah, a little busy. I don't know how I feel about all the short straights going across the line and then back.
Does that mess up? Well, go ahead.
Oh, I don't love it. Just it makes it super fast. I like the tighter, like a little bit more technical stuff. But that's just my preference. I think as we move east, we'll get more of the stuff that I'm used to.
Okay. Hey, as far as the Houston dirt, is this a covered stadium or is it open?
Covered. Yeah, it's covered. And the dirt is really good.
Is the dirt, does it rut up really good? So, like, the whoop section's really long this week. Is that going to be, do you predict, like, guys jumping through the whoops, or do you think they're going to be blitzers the whole night?
They'll probably be jumpers at some point. I remember when we did the residence here, I think that was the last time we were here. Basically, every weekend we ended up jumping the whoops.
That's right. That's when Kenny went 1-1-1 for the residency.
Just hopping through the whoops.
Okay.
No, he didn't go 1-1-1.
Was that St. Louis?
Coop passed him on the last lap that one time.
Okay. Ooh. What was the residency that he
Barcia won the first one? Yeah, you're way off.
What was the one? I know Kenny went 1-1-1 at one of the residencies.
Putting the spotlight on me.
No, he did. Kenny went 1-1-1 at one of the residencies. We're gonna figure out which one that was.
Okay.
Maybe not Houston, but it was one of them. Well, dude, so last week you got into the main straight out of qualifying, or did you go to the LCQ?
No, straight out of qualifying. My qualifying lap was good. Starting to feel a little bit more like myself at the races until like the mains came around. I rode main 1 like a turtle, and then main 2 was really good. I rode better, and then main 3 was more like a sloth.
By turtle, do you mean like was it arm pump? Was that can you narrow it down to something like that?
I rode good at the beginning, but yeah, first main of the year and arm pump, and then I kind of was able to ride through it. But at that point, I had already gotten passed by some guys that I thought I should beat, and yeah, it didn't go to plan. Okay. And the second one was good. I battled with Chiz and Shane the whole time, so yeah, it's just I got to get in there and get my feet wet and just get back to it. Right, I put a lot of focus on just getting back in there, which now I got on the mains too.
I'm sure you can appreciate having a few extra gate drops on a night like that too. Just start practicing out of the way.
Oh yeah. The first few laps of those races are so important, and it just sets you up better, getting those extra practices for later mains in the year.
For sure.
Hey, Kay, we got someone in the live chat right now who wants to know who you ride for, what your sponsors are for this year. So why don't you give them a shout out?
Yeah, man. I ride for the Partzilla PRMX Cowie team. We've got a lot of cool kind of one-off sponsors like OG, who does all of our gear and everything. And yeah, it's a good squad. We've got 6 guys, so it's pretty big. And Julian's doing a good job. Julian's our team owner. Okay, he's really taking the team in the right direction.
Yeah, awesome. You're right. Fox boots this year too, right? I saw.
Yeah. Hunter and I are doing the Fox boot deal. I've just been close with Kenny Day forever, and I was trying to figure out my boot deal. And yeah, I mean, they're a really good boot, and I'm really happy with my decision.
Excellent. Well, hey, so we were just talking about this earlier. So a lot of people right now, Tomac's going to be probably the number 1 guy picked to win this weekend. Do you feel like, and I'm putting Anderson to win this weekend, only because I feel like winning 3 out of the first 4 rounds is super tough to do, even if you're Eli Tomac. But also, personally, I just feel like Webb and Sexton are just a little bit, 1 or 2% better than what they were last year. And I just feel like this isn't the Anderson Tomac show anymore. And I really feel like there's 3, 4, you could even factor in Kenny there for a little bit. But do you feel like there's just more guys that are playing a factor in this championship than there were last year?
Yeah, I think that it's going to be tight down to the end. I think that Tomac's going to build confidence and then make mistakes. And it's going to allow Webb to kind of stay in that fight. I think Anderson's kind of a roller coaster. You never really know what you're going to get with him each weekend. Kenny, I think he's probably already out of it, honestly. I think he could definitely win some races at some point, but he's probably not a championship guy on that motorcycle at this point, but I would bet money that Kenny wins before Anderson does.
Interesting.
Really? Just because Anderson's been making those mistakes?
Yeah, I think if Kenny gets a whole shot, I think he's starting to figure the bike out, and I think it's going to light a fire. You know, he's a guy that wants to win, and he has it in him, right? I think we all know that Kenny's unbelievable when he's comfortable, and I think he's just going to keep getting more and more comfortable.
Interesting. Yeah, it was kind of, I don't know. I know Anderson was pretty upset, but it was kind of weird to see Anderson get chased down by Sexton last week in that last main and get passed for the win. So maybe you're right. I don't know. Kind of interesting, though.
We got Cade Wright asking you, Mr. Clason, does Cade play fantasy?
Oh,
I don't. It's hard to play and race.
I totally understand.
It's tough. It's too much to focus on because I want to do good if I do it. I play fantasy during outdoors, but that's really it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure the racing itself is enough. I think it was Jason also asked in here, and I know the list is long, but he was asking what the most difficult thing as a privateer is that you're experiencing.
Sometimes, you know, it's hard for me sometimes to consider myself a privateer right now because I ride for a team and they do literally everything for me.
That's awesome.
It's a smaller team, but it's definitely very well run, and
that's got to be compared to pitting out of a van. Having a bike there,
getting to the races is tough. Always having somebody you're confident in working on your motorcycle, always having the right parts. It can be tough because you're trying to run with, you know, people who have unlimited budgets and can kind of do whatever they want to do. So
for sure.
Privateer life is hard, but honestly, I've kind of just grown up through it, and I appreciate where I come, like kind of my past. And I'm glad that I have experienced so much of privateer life my career. I don't think some of the top guys really know what it's like to have to deal with some of that stuff.
Sure.
Well, Joey Savacci's going through some of that right now. Props to him, though. I mean, dude, he's beating Craig and some of these dudes, and I'm sure they're not stoked on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's hard for me to believe that, you know, he hasn't gotten a call or something.
Where's Husqvarna at least? You know, like, I don't know.
Just not going to have anybody on the track, I guess.
Crazy. So speaking of it, have you ever, where do you typically ride during the week? You're based out of California. Are there a lot of factory guys that you see pretty consistently at the tracks?
Right now I'm in California just for the West rounds. I'm very excited to go home. I get to go see my wife after Houston. I've been here since before I won. But I live in North Carolina. The team's based out of south of the border. Okay. So we do all training there, the whole team, and everybody rides together there. And then there's obviously a bunch of other guys. And then we'll hop around. There's some other tracks in the area that we go to as well.
Have you ever had the chance to hop on a factory motorcycle and compare it to what you ride?
No, I've never done that.
Would you do it if you were at a track with a factory Cowie guy and like the opportunity was there? Would you say yes, I want to ride that thing? Or would you be like, no, I don't want to know what's different. I just stick to what I have.
It depends on who shows up and, you know, who's got a camera out. But no, it would be cool, obviously, to experience one of those bikes. You know, just the manpower and the brains that have gone into some of those motorcycles. I mean, think about how much science has gone into a factory Cowie or a factory Honda or a Red Bull KTM. Like it's right. It's a lot. You know, it's impossible for any small team to ever get that much R&D and research into any part of their motorcycle.
Well, we actually asked, we had Kevin Moran's call in, and we asked him, we were like, hey, like between your bike, a privateer bike, or just even, you know, on a satellite team compared to a factory bike, what is like the one thing that probably makes the biggest difference, you know, from, you know, to that next level? And he mentioned suspension and just the idea of having, you know, people at the track with you day in and day out that are able to make every fine-tune adjustment that you want done to the bike. And it's just having that resource there. Where do you fall in that? If, you know, looking at factory bikes to yours, what do you think would be the biggest difference maker?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love my suspension, and we've put a lot of work into it, and I think we've made a lot of progress. So I don't want Tim to get mad at me. Tim at TCD, he's my guy. but I think even he would agree that it's impossible to replicate the amount of time and research that's gone into, say, what Red Bull KTM has done with their suspension. They can put a guy on and be really close.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, that's definitely the biggest part. I mean, anybody can build a fast bike and you can learn how to ride it. But it's really difficult to make a motorcycle work very well on a Supercross track.
Interesting.
Would you say you mentioned you're pretty comfortable with your setup currently? How much during your riding throughout the week is it still a good amount of testing, or is it mainly just for fitness and staying?
Yeah, is it more just getting used to what you have to ride with, or do you do a lot of that testing?
If I want to test or try something, like, the team's very open to it. But I put a lot of my recent failures on myself. I don't blame my motorcycle at all. I think I just need to be better. So we've been working a lot on me and my starts, some little nuances here and there, and just trying to be a little bit more aggressive and springy. That's kind of where we've been at recently. But if I want to test or if I want to try something, like, the team has been super open to the opportunity to do it.
Awesome.
Nice.
How much are you riding throughout the week?
So this week I didn't get to ride at all with rain and the team having to leave for Houston.
Does that really worry you at all, or does that not really make a difference?
I have press this week, so it's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if I didn't have that, it would be a bummer.
Sure.
But I like to ride at least 1 or 2 days a week when I'm racing on the weekend. It depends, really. I mean, it sucks because, like, preseason, when you feel your best, everyone says they never feel as good as they do preseason. Well, preseason we ride 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So it's trying to replicate that comfort that you get, at your training tracks. Sure. And bring it is sometimes really hard.
Hey, someone wants to know what your race day diet is like. This has been a popular theme here. So we got Blake Love asking live right now. I'm kind of curious about that too.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got a pretty weird stomach, honestly. Race day is pretty chill for me. I don't eat meat for breakfast days that I ride, just because it takes my body a while to break it down and it makes my heart rate higher.
Okay.
So I stay away from that. But I have to have some sort of protein throughout the day. So I'll do some shakes or smoothies. And then I'll do like a chicken and rice, just super light. But I'll do like small bowls throughout the day. And then just snack. I snack a lot, just, fruits. Maybe a little bit of nuts here and there. And then I've got some other just little gels and stuff that I take as well. I try to mix it up and try not to get too set in a routine and adjusted to one thing. But yeah, I have to be careful about what I eat because my stomach gets upset. And then, I don't know if it's nerves or just me being a little girl or what the problem is.
Well, hey, here's a question. So you're on a Kawasaki this year. In the last, I don't know how many years you were riding a Honda. And we get a lot of questions, and I had this question myself too. Between the bikes, and I don't need to tell me, which one you like more or which one's better, but from an average viewer, and they were like, hey, what does the Honda do better than the Kawi and vice versa? What would you say?
My Kawi's way more stable. I've been way better in the whoops on my Kawi. I feel way more consistent. The Honda, it's a little bit shorter and it's a little less raked out. So obviously those are polar opposites of what I just said about whoops. So the Honda is a little bit more nimble. So I could get like in and out of the bull corners, I think, a little bit faster on my Honda just because of that wheelbase and how it's raked.
Yeah.
But I really like my Kawi just because of how stable it is in a straight line through whoops and stuff like that. That was a big issue for me last year, was if the whoops got even remotely tough, I just resorted to jumping, where I'm this year almost always skimming, except this weekend where I jumped the whoops. But like I've been really proud of how good I've been skimming the whoops.
Okay. All right, and then I got one more question for you, and then we'll let you go. You're a busy man. Mm-hmm. When you're riding a Supercross track, whether it's practice or the night show, and you see some guys that are jumping, doing like a rhythm, like a big rhythm that you're just like, I really don't want to do that. What is the process to go through to finally commit? Because like I think of Phil Nicoletti, the whole joke right now is like, Phil, just jump the jumps. Are there, is that not too often, but are there definitely nights where you're just like, dude, I really don't want to do that rhythm, but I have to if I want to be competitive with times, and then you just force yourself to go do it?
There's definitely times when you're like, oh, I'm not comfy and I don't want to do that. Like last weekend, that 3-2 before the big double. I didn't want to 3 out of that corner. I don't know why. But it ended up working out for me just because I figured out a way to do it fast and not do it and set it up well, where there's weekends where like there's not another way to do it. You have to figure it out. But usually I'm like a guy that just jumps stuff. Simultaneously last weekend, first practice, I kept messing up the rhythm after the whoops and hadn't jumped the quad. And last lap, I just sat next to the whoops, caught my breath, waited for everyone to get out of my way, and jumped the quad on the last lap. It's important to obviously knock those out as fast as possible so you can get comfortable doing them quickly. Because there's a big difference between doing them and doing them quickly. Yeah. Because if you do the big obstacles slowly, it's almost faster to do the slower way quickly.
Okay. Do you ever like tail on to other riders to kind of just feel out their speed before hitting something?
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
Do you guys do that a lot?
Weekend was super awkward because that long straightaway, and then it was a pretty big finish line. Yeah. And I'm not great at like high speeds judging. Like chopping the throttle, getting over. And then usually finish lines and triples are super easy because you just kind of come out of the corner and just, you naturally know how fast to hit them. Right. But after a straightaway like that, it's awkward. So I followed Hill off of it. And even he was like, yeah, that one was big and awkward. And because normally, Corey and Ross and those guys build the triples and the finish lines almost the exact same. You can almost always know how they're going to feel before you hit them. That's why we jump stuff on the first lap, just because they do such a good job. Yeah, the distances are consistent and everything. Yeah, but when they build, this is why I don't like those like short straights across the straightaways, because when you come into the section after it's super awkward and weird, and how your bike loads and unloads. It was that's why I think you saw so many mistakes in that corner in the Dragon's Back, is you landed the finish line awkwardly and then tried to make that inside, and the braking bumps right there were really big as well. So it creates tough situations. Yeah, that's where Sexton went down, was like right after the finish. And I noticed too on that double you're referring to in the finish, everyone was jumping from the far right so they could angle in on the landing, which created nasty ruts, and I'm sure were a lot worse when you're actually looking at it in person. Yeah, the left side of that finish line never got used. Wow. So all using the right side. That's why they kept having to go out and fix it, because we were all just resorting to that right side. I see. Right on. Yeah. Ooh, Corey should call in. Moto Mama just said, hey, if you got a connection for Corey from Dirtworks, it would be cool to have somebody from the track crew call in. Sure. Just give some thoughts. I know that connection. I think I can set you guys up. Oh, dude, that would be rad, because I'm sure we got a lot of questions about that. Well, hey, man, look, we know you're busy, so we're going to let you hop off here, but just thank you so much for taking the time to call in. Thank you for giving a shout out to your sponsors. And do you sell any merch or anything like that? Yeah. I've got some merch on the Moto Academy website. AJ helps out and takes care of me. So yeah, that'd be awesome if people could go check it out. Heck yeah. Dude, we did the 24-hour race at Glen Helen with AJ a couple of years ago. Have you ever done that race? No, but I've always wanted to go do it. I've always wanted to do Day in the Dirt. Those events. You owe it to yourself to at least one time do the 24-hour race, and then ask AJ next time you talk to him what his experience was like, because I'm just going to say this. We had to go find him under blankets in the back of a Sprinter van and search him out. Dig him out when it was his time to go moto. That doesn't sound like the type of event AJ would like. He did really well. Comes to fitness, it's not always there. Well, he's racing East Coast on 250, and supposedly he's putting in the work this year, so we'll see how it goes. But I just remember in our video, we were way behind in our times, so it wasn't like we were racing anybody. But on one of his last laps that he's doing for the 24-hour, he stops at the top of this ridge and starts doing a vlog, up on the top of the ridge. Time was not a concern.
But yeah, that's a must-have. That race is awesome.
The YouTube, that's priority for everything for AJ.
Awesome. But here's the fun part, though. Last thing is when we did that race, we did it. It was a challenge, and we had a $1,500 bike budget to buy and fix the motorcycle and do the 24-hour on. So both teams were on 1984 and 1985 Yamaha WR250s. 94.
Yeah, mid-90s WR250s.
Fun, dude, miserable and happiness all at the same time.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's fun stuff.
It.
All right, man. Well, hey, we want to wish you the best of luck this weekend. Stick it in the main straight from qualifying, travel safe, and we'll be rooting for you this weekend.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good show. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, man. See you later.
It was great.
Love that guy.
Yeah, what a great guy. No, genuinely.
Right. No, cool. Cade's a super nice guy.
For sure.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, when he started naming off the Dirtworks guys on a first-name basis, I was like, oh, that's
he clearly knows these guys really well. Thank you for submitting the questions while we're doing that live.
Definitely.
Okay, let's get into it. Top Contender
shirt. Crank out some stats. I don't know how much we need to go more into Tomac.
He hasn't qualified first yet. That was the only thing that stood out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Last year he went 13-1-5 in Houston when they had that residency. And by the way, Kenny swept Indy.
Yeah, I did see that. Thank you for
helping me
fact checking your SXperts, quote unquote.
Hey, what are you trying to say? Some people were calling me.
I was
There's
just
even
drawing
some
a
memes
blank.
about it.
We were talking about it like 2 weeks ago.
When your score's so bad, the memes are coming in saying the SXperts.
Yeah. Hey, my picks on the show, I agree, I'd be at 40, 50 points down from where I'm at. But
all right, it's Cooper Webb. Where are you putting him this week?
Webb, right now I've got him currently. I think I've got him in 4th.
You copycat.
What?
I had my picks first.
Okay.
Well, look, he's only 4 points.
Give me your timestamp.
He's 4 points back. What's crazy is Webb has only led what? This is the only stat to me. It's a little, I don't know if it's worrisome.
One lap?
He's led one lap this year.
So far.
His starts were not the greatest last week. He had starts of 9.73. And in Houston 21, he did go 9.41. I mean,
for a win, I don't know.
He's just not
Definitely
quite
top
there
5,
for a win.
But for a win, I'm not. I don't believe it yet.
Okay.
I don't believe it for a win yet.
Okay, well, that's what we have on Webb. Kind of curious to see where everybody else has him. Webb third, fourth, third.
It has been interesting to see how much he's caught up to both Sexton and Tomac at the end. But like we were talking earlier, if I have to be honest, I think in those last 2-3 laps when they have a 5-6 second gap, that Tomac and Sexton are just backing it down, keeping it safe.
Well, Tomac, that one race that he had lappers getting his way.
Lappers, and then, combination of both maybe. I don't know. That's my take on it.
I mean, he did. I don't know. We'll see. I just don't. Podium's a good thought, but Travis Gold.
Nothing more than a podium.
Gold, you better stick to that if you got him in first right now. All right. Chase Sexton. Oh, let's see. He's gone 3-5-1. So last week he
hasn't been out of the top 5.
He's still making mistakes though. Like
Triple Crown saved him, didn't it?
Granted, Tomac has fallen 2 out of 3 races, but so has Sexton. He's fallen in each race, and so the Triple Crown saved him because he went 1-6 or 1-5-1. So I don't know. I just don't trust him yet to just be able to rip a whole shot and ride a full 20-minute clean.
I trust him to rip the whole shot. I don't trust him to
just keep it together for 20.
That's the thing.
Yep. But he's led 29 laps to Tomac's 30.
Wow, almost.
And then last year he won the 3rd race of the season, but didn't win after that. So I don't know. Do you trust this guy just to hold it together yet?
I can totally see him doing it, but I'm sticking to Tomac.
No one will deny he's got the raw speed to do it.
Sexton is without a doubt a good top 3, even even could win. So.
Dylan Ferrandis, who is he's top 5 2 out of the last 3 rounds, but still people aren't putting him in their top 5 that much. He's kind of like Malcolm Stewart, where it's like he's consistently there, but for some reason you still just don't throw him in your top 5.
Trust it.
But let's see here. So 4.65 to start the season. Last year he only had 3 top 5s total, and 4 in all of 2021.
He was injured last year, though, right?
He got injured a little bit later in the season. So, I think he'd completed like 10 or 11 rounds. But even still, like in the last 2 years, though, he's done 7 top 5s in 2 Supercross seasons. He's already got 2 this year. So I feel like we're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here where I think he's probably a pretty safe bet. The only thing that scares me, again, are his starts because last week he only started, he only started better than 5th 1 time out of 5 gate drops. And last week his starts were better of 4.85. But his first two, let's see. I am mixing up my stats.
You're fine. I just don't, even with the start, I think he's going to get passed. I don't think, if Ferrandis rips a whole shot, I don't see him staying in first. But he could hold on to that fifth place
so
range.
his starts in the Triple Crown were 4.85, and his two starts before that were 9 and 10. So they did improve last week.
Okay.
So,
interesting.
Is he a safe top 5?
He's not for me. Sorry, people. Not for me. I'm not sticking him in there.
Yeah, Lewis knows what's up. Bad starter. Luke Vita has Ferrandis in the wild card.
Interesting. Mason brought up lappers. Mason Moore says passing lappers is going to be terrible on this track. Yeah.
Why is that? I'd be curious
Just
to
a
know.
little one. Yeah, I'm curious too.
All right.
People were mentioning last week wasn't the best passing track either. As you could see, I mean, Tomac, maybe it's just Webb's craftiness, but Tomac was stuck behind him for...
Yeah, but in the first two motos, Tomac passed several dudes, but it's also Eli Tomac. All right.
Anderson, Chase's pick to win.
Right now, I've got him to win. Look, his start this year is actually better than last year. He's gone 7-7-2, and last year he started with 10-1-8. So as bad as it's looking for Ando, he's actually scored more points this year so far
than last year.
Interesting. Let's see. He had 2 hole shots at A2.
That was good.
And then he had starts were 6 before that. So his starts are, look, that's all I'm saying is Anderson, his starts are dialed. He's going to click off a win sooner than later.
I don't doubt it.
I can't believe Cade said, though, that he thinks Roxon's going to win before
I agree
Anderson.
with Cade, though.
You agree with Cade?
I agree with Cade. I could see Roxon doing it.
Poll this, Levi.
Who's getting a win first?
Who wins first, Anderson or Roxon?
Yeah, that's a good poll.
I can't believe you think Roxon's going to win first.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Let's see here. So last year, Anderson, the 7 races he won, he qualified 3rd or better in 6 of those. So half the time, he was way up in the leaderboard.
Okay.
Yep,
Just feeling good, feeling comfy early.
Let's see. And then taking out Daytona from last year, and that's where he went down in the first term with Malcolm, he hasn't started worse than 8th after lap 1.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
See, I got you with that one.
Yeah.
That's going to make you think about Ando right now in first place.
All right. You and your 80 points.
All right. Ouch.
Who's going to win first? I'm partaking in this poll. I'm putting Kenny. I got to.
BS Racers got Roxon forced. I don't know what forced means, but.
Kenny all the way.
Roxon and
Kenny
forced.
all day. Man.
Yeah. Thank you, Levi. Levi's had Kenny to win. This feels like a couple weekends in a row now.
And Levi is probably one of the few guys that is behind me in points right now.
He's ahead. He says he's ahead. You got
ahead, dude.
Defend yourself. Defend yourself. Okay, some spoilers. Let's keep that poll going for these two.
Who do we want to do? You want to do Plessinger? Who? Okay.
No, we got one single spoiler is Barcia this week.
We did skip Kenny's stats.
Oh yeah. Why are you skipping out on Roxon,
so
dude?
sorry.
He's only going to help you with your poll right now.
For real.
Okay, so let's see. Roxon. First 6 finishes this year, including that Triple Crown.
5, 4, 2, 3, 4. All in the top 5.
Dude, that's solid.
Yeah, all in the top 5.
3 of his 6 starts have been 3rd or better. So 50% of the time he's starting up front.
His starts his entire life have been just amazing.
This just goes to show he's a new Kenny. Because last year, out of 15 gate drops, he only had 3 top 5s.
He might as well have just
it's a new Kenny.
Sat out last year.
Doesn't mean he's going to beat Ando, but he's a new Kenny.
We will see.
Maybe.
We will see.
You and I are going to have to come up with some sort of bet here.
Okay.
And put our money where our mouth is.
Enough.
I'll be in on that one too.
Okay.
Let's go, Levi.
All right, I like it.
Okay, now spoilers. Barcia. Oh, no, what you reading?
Nothing. BS Racer had a typo. He said Kenny forced. And he said O is next to the I. I gave
Fair
him
enough.
about it.
Fair enough.
Kenny number 1 this week says Luke Vita.
All right, Barcia.
What
we got on Barcia?
I don't know. He's gone 11-3-8.
11-3-8. Not very impressive.
2 out of the 3 races so far has finished 1 spot or less from where he qualified.
So you actually did note here spoiler/wild card, and I got to agree with that. This is Barcia. I would be more comfortable putting him in a wild card spot, which is 9th. So he's not going to be my wild card, but it's more likely that he's wild card than top 5 because my guess is Barcia gets in it with somebody, crashes himself.
He does this every year. He starts out super strong and then just kind of settles into like that 5th. Last year I think it was a little surprising. He actually had 11 top 5s last year, so don't count him out.
But it was just after his win. Yeah, last year was even worse because he started with the win and then.
So I don't know. I mean, fifth to eighth or fifth to ninth is kind of where I would put Barcia. So if you want to take a risk on him, I don't know. He still rips on
Barcia's not in my picks for this week.
No.
Okay, moving on to wild card.
That's really the only guy that like maybe take a risk and throw him in your top 5 aside from the contenders.
If you're desperate and need points like Chase, yeah, throw him in your top 5.
Absolutely, which is why I have Ando in first, dog.
I think you got Ooh, nice. I think you got AP over there. My guy.
Do I?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about wild card watch here because there are some good stats. Dude, where's my AC plate?
I think AC's here. Well, I was going to Plessinger.
I got AP. Yeah. Okay.
AP.
Let's do this.
Okay, Plessinger.
Hey, how's that poll, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Roxon, Anderson.
I'm guessing they're backing you, but I'm sticking to my heart.
We're going to find out.
It's closer than you'd think. 54%.
54% is all it's
votes.
at?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. See? Let's go.
All right. Well,
Kickstart fans.
Oh, gosh. We have a good meme for Kenny actually coming up. 53. That's pretty impressive. I thought it would be like 80%. All right. Plessinger. So far, his average start is 8.8. And his average finish is right there, 7.8.
He's a solid wild card pick this week.
His average start in 2022 was 10.6. His average finish was 9.6. So I don't know, man.
You take his tip over out from that. Was it the second main?
But that's just one main.
It's just one main, but he's got speed. He's had speed at every weekend.
Well, no one's going to deny that. Yeah. But, I mean, look at 2021. Once again, 9.4 for an average start. His average finish was 8 or close to it. So he's –
but I feel
regardless of what you're getting like that 7th to 9th place guy.
I still feel like he's – yeah, I don't know. You can't –
okay, but outside the top 5, right? We got, let's say, Ken Roxon, your solid 5th place guy or whatever. Who is AP going to beat after that? Because you've got Barcia, Adam Cianciarulo, AP, and like a Joey
possibly
Savacci.
Ferrandis.
I just feel like those guys could finish anywhere within. Or Ferrandis.
Yeah. Okay, Craig.
So I just kind of look at like who would I put my money on if it's a battle? I don't know. It's a tough one.
But yeah, he's a solid wild card. And then let's move on to AC, who is my wild card. I believe he's yours too.
Yeah, he is.
If I had to bet right now, he's going to be the most picked wild card. He's gone 9-8-9 to start the season. So 1 out of those 3 races, he didn't finish in the wild card spot.
Yeah, and out of 6 gate drops, he's finished 8th twice, 9th twice.
It's just, and even when he gets good starts, he's fading back to about that position.
He hasn't started worse than 6th. So that's what's happening is he's getting passed by the same guys every race.
I should have pulled up his qualifying times because I bet his qualifying is even similar.
Yeah,
it just seems like that's where he is in this field. Is that
my only thing is he's trending up. I feel like he's only going to get stronger each and every week.
And with Mookie gone, it does give him a spot.
My only question is it a fitness thing with AC right now? Like, is he fading back because of fitness, or is it like why? If AC rips a whole shot and he's fit and everything is good, he's not fading to 9th. What is it that is causing him to fade? Is it arm problems still? Is it fitness?
After that first good start where he faded back, he didn't say it was fitness. He just, I don't know if it was mentality or just not having the cojones to.
Chris McIntyre said it's making him crazy. Yeah, I just don't know what would cause him to fade.
I have to believe that
spots.
It's fitness, but. Yeah, it doesn't make sense given.
I mean, he's had his off-season struggles with surgeries and whatnot. That would be my question. Because if it's a fitness thing, then okay, well, his fitness is going to improve. Therefore, he's not going to fade as much. But if he's having this arm issue, then that makes sense. And it's like you can only count on him for maybe an 8th or 9th place. Yep. AC, respond to my DMs, bro. Let's get you on the show
we need
here.
To talk.
We need to talk. All right, Joey Savacci.
His stats are almost just as good, man.
I know.
His stats are great, too.
But I would put
him too.
AC to beat Savacci.
Yeah,
because you're going to count on AC getting a good start and fading versus Savacci starting. You'll see the stats.
Yeah, I totally
Do I have his plate over here?
Savacci.
Okay.
Well, let's get his graphic up there.
I don't have it.
Oh, well, he's on the screen now.
He is there.
Him in his blacked out shirt and hat.
All right. Why does he always fall in those good Photoshops, dude?
I know. We work with what we get. 10, 10, 10. I said 4, right?
10, 10, 10, 10.
Yeah. 9, 9 to start the year.
Yeah,
that's including Triple Crowns.
Yep.
But yes, he is also right in that spot. That's a good point you bring up with this qualifying.
I think I had one too many 10s in there because they've only done
that would make
5
sense.
gate drops. Oopsie.
Hey,
But
10,
hey,
10 repeating.
He's just basically one spot back from him and Sansarulo are just going back and forth here. If you watch his qualifying, he's finishing 1 to 2 spots better
than where he's qualifying.
So he's qualifying right in that like 10th to 12th place range.
Wild-card-ish. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Let's see. Still got 10th when he started 15th.
So those guys that are around, Wilson's speed, he's getting past them, no problem.
Yeah, he's getting past the Wilsons, the Justin Hills. He's beating Craig and stuff. So honestly, like Savachi with the top 10 start is going to finish in the top 10. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't like, man, between him and AC, that's tough. Because Savachi is starting where he's finishing or he's moving forward. He's not dropping back. So at AC.
See, I knew it. AC, best wild card pick. Thanks, Levi.
The thing about AC is like, it's like throwing a brick and wondering how far it's going to drop. With Savachi, it's like you drop it down a dark hole and you're like, how far is this going to go?
Okay.
Savachi, you're like, he's either going to move up or stay kind of where he's at. It almost feels like a safer pick to pick Savachi just because he's staying right around there, whereas with AC, you're like, oh, he just ripped another hole shot.
I can get on board
hope
with that.
He gets past enough to get the wild card.
And Savachi's most likely in that position where if some fiasco happens in that top five.
Capitalizes.
Yep. I just don't think it's going to affect him as much. Somebody tips over in the top five, they're going to get up and going before Savachi reaches them.
I'm probably going to eat my words, but I just changed my wild card to Savachi.
I'm about to slide my laptop and have you do the same thing.
All right.
Dang, that's hard. We're still not done with wild card. These guys, this one is tough.
Who else do we have here?
We got Craig, which is also...
So his first two finishes are not what we all expected.
No.
13-11.
450s are tough.
But then last week he goes 7 or 9, 10, 10.
With starts of 7, 9, 16, so he made up some ground in that last one.
So
he's also, could very well do it. Oof. And these stats from the Triple Crown, that's all with Mookie gone. So keep that in mind. That's not like something changing.
I still go Savachi just because I feel like Craig's a 13th or 11th in the first 2 rounds. Last week was good. But then I feel like Craig is more likely to rip a good start and run well in the top 10 versus like Joey or some of those guys where it's just a little bit more solid in that position.
I'm going to be really paying attention to qualifying given that Cade brought up a good point with the dirt. He's like, the dirt is good. Maybe sometimes just changing coasts really helps some riders more than others. So
yeah. What about Colt Nichols?
All the way up in 9th?
I could only add 4 options on the poll. Sorry, everyone.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, Colt would be another good one.
Yeah. If you put Colt, you're gonna gain some
Hey,
points.
He's been right around there. Justin Cooper, that's another rider we got to talk about.
Oh, dang.
Just because he is going to make his debut on the 450 this weekend. So, hey, look, I feel like a 9th place would be a solid start for a Justin Cooper on his debut on a 450.
Yeah, as soon as, for some reason, when you bring up Cooper, I think of Adam C. I just feel like he's around that same speed and stuff.
This man's going to be jacked up, though. Do you watch him rip a whole shot and just finish in top 5?
Good.
But chances of that, super unlikely, but it could happen. I don't know. So if anybody wants to take a bit of a, let's see, Craig will benefit from a bigger, longer whoop section. It's true.
That's very true. Well, we're unfortunately running long on time.
And hold on. That is one other thing that I've seen that scares me about AC. He does not look good in whoops. Have you noticed that each week he starts jumping through whoops early and just doesn't look good?
Was it in a heat? Yeah, I did notice the same thing, that he was jumping whoops very early.
So in a long whoop section like this, I don't know. He just hasn't looked very good in the whoops at all. So that makes me feel like he's either pumping up, he's having an arm issue, or he's getting tired. One of the 3.
I should have changed my picks before you did with the Savachi. Now you're just going to call me a copycat. But
we have our top 4 meme submissions.
Yes, let's move on to that.
Look at that. Sansarulo is 43% of the wild card pick right now. Hey, why do you keep closing these polls at 69%, Levi? Josh mentioned that earlier.
That's a good point.
Shout out to Josh, though. It is Josh Prowse's birthday today.
Yeah, shout out J-Pro, our OG SXperts producer.
That's 2 out of 3 polls he's closed at 69%.
Josh has had a lot of involvement with this show from basically since it started. I mean, he's been the producer for it. So shout out J-Pro.
It's because, Nate, we're making sense, okay? It makes sense. AC or Savachi for the wild card. Anyway, yeah, let's get the memes up here. Let's show...
This was Chase and I's, or were Chase and I's
It's a collaborative
favorite
effort.
Yep. And man, they're good. You guys are good. So what we want, Levi's going to get a poll cooking. We want you guys to vote.
We didn't put the names of
Not yet. We don't want any bias
either. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want any bias.
But this first one I thought was great because the corner that we said everybody was going down in just happens to be a Rocky Mountain Tough
the
block.
one that Tomac, the rhythm that Tomac goes down in.
Yeah.
It's a little.
He literally landed on our tough block.
Yeah, like a bench.
Free marketing.
Yeah, get a closer look here. That was a good one. Let's move on to the next. There's some good ones.
Whoa, we skipped
he's moving
one.
quick.
Here we go.
This one I chose just because I benefited from the whole Nichols thing.
That's true, huh?
Man, we all know that feeling, getting smacked with some plus
Kenny
fours.
kickstarting banana. This was probably I put this in here.
Being in the top 5.
Hey, he'll wipe those kickstart tears with money all day long. Tomac too.
I bet you thought I was dead.
I think that's from I want to say Billy Madison, but that was a really good one.
You know better than I.
We have those 4 memes that we kind of selected from all of them that were our top favorites. So we'd like you guys to vote.
Let's get back to the
right now
labeled version. Can you do that, Levi? And then we've got the poll going 1, 2, 3, 4.
So put them back up there.
Yeah, awesome.
Vote right now. And we didn't put the names out there, so there's no bias there. But
we'll give credit afterwards. Don't you worry.
Oh, gosh.
Keep them
What
coming.
do memes have to do with Houston SX? Nothing. They're from the last race. That's what they have to do.
Yeah.
And we're giving away
a free set of gear.
A free set of MSR gear. All right.
You guys are making me second guess my picks. What do you think I'm doing up here this entire show? It's just second guessing my picks.
That's what I do mentally. I just make you question everything in life. If there's one thing that SXperts are here for is to make you second guess your picks. Okay.
And then we also are a scapegoat. So there's that too.
That is very true. All right. While that is going on, let's lock in, Kobe. One more time, let's get up the weekly prizes real quick, Levi, just so people can see. Well, actually, no, keep those up there. We'll mention the prizes.
Let's lock in our picks while.
You want to lock them in?
Yep.
Okay, who do you have?
Oh, you're letting me go first. Okay, so now you'll be copying me.
I'll go
now
first.
You'll be copying me.
I'm not afraid to change my picks in the middle of the show.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
like I said, I'm sticking to it. ET3, ET1, excuse me. With the win. Oh, we got so many plates up in here. Sexton, there can only be so many red plates.
Jason made a good point. He says he doesn't need help second-guessing his own picks.
Fair enough. ET3, ET1, excuse me, again, Anderson. Sexton rounding out the podium. I've got Webb, which Chase did, I gotta admit, Chase brought some insight. I originally had Kenny in front of Webb, but when have we ever seen that?
When was the
really
last
happen?
time that Kenny beat Webb straight up?
So if I'm lucky enough to have this become a reality, I'm sure Webb will make the
I need
move.
to keep this to myself.
No kidding.
Okay.
And then for wild card, you know what? I'm sticking with AC. I got to keep it something different from you. So there's my picks, people.
Mike Sear asked about the Tampa tickets. So that's on last week's show. So you had to comment on Monday's show.
It should be just a saved video now. So, just go down into the normal comment section. And
if you want to know if you won tickets to Tampa, then you got to go to Monday's show and then just look at the comment section, and somebody from Rocky Mountain will have responded back to you, letting you know that you were selected. Okay, so those are your picks. Tomac, Anderson, Sexton, Webb, Roxon, AC.
Yep.
Or did you change to Savachi?
Nope.
Okay. Here we go, and here are mine. I'm going to do you. Just going to switch these two around. Sexton I also have in third. I have Cooper Webb in fourth, Ken Roxon is fifth. So literally all I did was switch the top two, and then I put Savachi. I don't know where his number plate's at, but
Is this the most efficient system, all these plates?
I don't know how else you do it. But anyway, I have Savachi for the wild card. Those are my picks.
Yep.
Kenny with the dub. He's been looking strong.
Dang. Best meme. So how long has that been going? How long has that been cooking? 3 minutes? Do we give it until 5?
Yeah, let's give it one more minute.
Okay.
All right.
1 more minute to get your votes
72
in.
votes right now. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so here we go. Again, weekly prizes. We got the 7-gear package or casual package. Second place is FMF. Third is Fast House. And we got fourth, the Fastway. What are those pegs called? The Air EXT, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Bridgestone Battlecross tires, Rhino Power Package, TLD, Casual Spending Spree, 8th place, Oakley, Sunglasses, 9th, Fly, Racing Casual Package, 10th place, Cherbys, not Acerbis, not Asterbis, A chair bees.
We've had some good social
Yep.
bits about that. And then don't forget what you're really playing for with the grand prizes, the 3 race prepped KTMs first with the 450, the 252 stroke in second, and then the little guys SXE5 in third. Stasic helping out in fourth. Rocky Mountain Spending Spree in fifth. A-Stars in sixth. And the Motion Pro tools and accessories. Too many tools never hurt. You always lose your 10 mils, right? They're in seventh. Some fly racing hookup in eighth. Some awesome Oakleys in ninth. And then the Milestone video game prize pack for all you G-Boy gamers out there. And then for the memes that we were just talking about, submit those to the Discord, please.
All right. Yes, link to
There's
the Discord.
plenty. It is so hard to choose.
But look, number 1, I did not expect this.
Okay.
Number 1 has won the meme contest. The Rocky Mountain HDMC
Tough
Tough Blocks, just getting the job done during the night show.
That's where we need some Christian conspiracies around that.
Levi,
right?
who is the winner for the night or for?
Reveal the name.
Yes, the name. Do you have it?
Might have to dig
he's
through the
getting on the
Discord.
he's getting on the Discord.
You went wide-eyed with that one.
Oh wait, see who can find it first. Stick with us,
No
people.
kidding. That was solid. That was one of my votes for
Freedom for
best
Americans asks, how do you win the prizes? And
prizes, as in
weekly prizes. You get your picks in early in the week. Don't change them because when you make changes to your picks, it changes your timestamp. So, but you make your picks and then just the top
scorer.
100. Yep,
Yeah.
top score for the week.
It's just the top scorer. But like Chase was mentioning, the earlier, if you're tying with people, the credit goes to the earlier timestamp.
Is this Alexander D's
Alexander,
The
second
winner is
win?
Alexander D.
Alexander D.
Alexander.
He was the last winner too?
No, he's won. He
Oh,
won
just
a
won in
gear
the
set.
past?
Yeah, he's
Hey,
good.
credit to the man.
Dude,
good at memes.
That's what happens.
Yep.
Gunny was in there.
Gunny's
Gunny's was the RMZ one.
Yeah,
and
keep
stuff.
them coming. All
Yeah.
you guys. You'll all shine at some point.
All
You're all
right.
currently shining.
Well, hey, if you
great.
guys have any questions, though, about anything, make sure to go to RMFantasySX.com. There, if you've never played before, tell your friends, your family members, everybody. It's free to play.
Free.
You just make your top 5 picks. You pick that wild card. You watch our show.
You stress more.
You stress more, and you also have more fun, though.
Absolutely. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Shout out to Cade Clason one more time. That was a great call.
Yes, thank you to that man. And,
And
yeah, I don't know. Everybody be on that Discord because I'm on there. Kobe gets on there. We go on the Discord and we just have a fun little chat live there all day on Saturday. I love seeing what people are doing for their picks, changing them, having mental breakdowns like I do, and it makes it a blast. So thank you, everybody who tuned in live today. Join us this coming Monday, 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time for our bench racing race recap show of Houston where Chase gets a lot of points.
Oh, yeah?
Anderson, baby. Let's do it.
But good luck, everybody, and we'll see you Monday.
See you later.